Oh, hi there, and welcome back to Know a Little More About History! And today we are going to talk about William Shakespeare, who was a writer and a playwright, so well known in the Renaissance era, who used to compose sonnets, write plays, and put quotes that are still remembered till today's days. It's incredible how far the influence and presence of someone from another times can go. Let's talk about some of that quotes we mentioned. The first of them, which is the most recognized, is "To be or not to be? That's the question." That is from their Hamlet piece, which is also the longest play he ever made, with almost 4,177 lines on the play, being that the most would have to say was the lead, Hamlet. It's a play about self-questioning, either the moral ideas you believe and defending what you think is the correct thing to do, with pressure and with existential crisis. To be honest, I will say this play could fit perfectly these times because of the topic. Okay, but where are we talking about Shakespeare and the things he made? Well, allow me to tell you that it's because I was looking for some author who engaged my attention, and then I remembered in Animaniacs, who's the most mentioned person? Why does this person have so much recognition? Why does Jacko likes him a lot? So, to answer those questions, I decided to do a little research in order to understand that tension, or what does he have of greed? And there is where I found that he was so much than a famous person. He had a lot of plays which summaries or premises are very funny, actually, and if it's well adapted to these times, so much of them will definitely be a hit. Now, let me show to you the account I made for this project. The user is at will_to_be_or_not_Pierre_16. The 60 has no meaning. And the name that wins the Originality Award is to Shakespeare! Ooh. Let's check out the most reacted post on the account. Okay? The first one is a edit photo I take to illustrate how I think his siblings could be. I believe people like it the most because the edition and maybe the hashtags help. The second one is about the title of Midsummer Night's Dream. And maybe the photo is not exactly accurate with the background of the play, but I thought if it was bright enough, that would be a nice cover. I like to think that have that amount of likes because it's a well-known title and have a very curious premise. The third one is about a fictional situation. What if this author could have the opportunity to exist in the same ambience of this cartoon? And as you can see in the profile, I like to draw. And I drew a lot of this because I wanted a fresh aura and more digestible for everyone who can have a minimum interest in the Renaissance author. So for that, I like the idea to put a cartoon that is, at least in the fandom, known because he likes Shakespeare and he likes to mess around sometimes with some phrases of his plays or referencing him in some acts. This character, as you can see, is Jacko from the Animaniacs show, which was mentioned earlier. Now, apart of history, facts, and getting more into experiences, what if we change the topic a little bit? Just to have fun and make a quick frequently asked questions from our viewer. Okay, let's go. The first one says, what inspires you the most about reading? Okay, we got a hard start. I would like to think that the thing that inspires me the most is that you can imagine the situations, the background, the place, the era, the characters. I mean, you only have a description, and in base of that, you need to create a fictional and mental situation that follows the history as is described. I think that inspires me because I can explode my imagination. Okay, and the last question of this podcast. Okay, let's see. What's my experience about learning and speaking a foreign language as English? Okay, as you can know, my mother language is Spanish, but during this period of time of my life, I was into English because so much of my series I liked, so much of the comics I read were from this language, which caused me curiosity about the first. It's obviously hard as another language, but when you get more into it, you can actually enjoy the learning of this, because you can understand how to talk to other people. You can lose the fear of talking in the other idiom, like me in this place, in this moment. I think that speaking a foreign language helps me to understand other people, but also to understand other pieces that I like that are not in my language. And that opens me to the possibility to understand another works that maybe never been translated to my idiom. And that's okay, because I think it's hard, but when you like it, and finally you can get it. It's hard, I know. You maybe not understand it at first, but I think that foreign languages as English help so much to develop yourself in other areas, in another perspective. And that will be all. Thank you for coming to the podcast, and we'll see you soon. Remember, this was They Are Like You, de vuelta!